Welcome to the Baton Twirling Podcast, a show about all things baton twirling. From the latest news to interviews with world champions and connections made along the way. I am your host, Sarah Rudine. Baton twirling has taken me on an amazing journey, and I'm here to share part of that journey with all of you, one episode at a time. So sit back, enjoy the show, and let's get rolling. Have you ever had a bad workout? Well, about 4 months ago, I found myself completely defeated because my workout clothes were not cutting it. For the next 2 months, I didn't work out at all. Then my friend told me about an amazing activewear brand called Zyia. The brand is perfect for young, old, short, tall, skinny, or huggable. On a whim, I reached out to the CEO of the company and asked her if she would be on a podcast episode with me. Y'all, she agreed. Now, before we start the episode, if you would like to shop directly from my link, meaning that I do get credit if you buy anything from there, it is jazz.batontwirling101.com. Talk about a fantastic woman who runs such an amazing company. I am so excited to introduce to you all Erin Bradley, the CEO of Zyia Active. I am so excited to talk to you. Go ahead and tell us your name, what you do, and a little bit about your story behind Zyia.
Okay, my name is Erin Bradley, and yes, I'm the CEO and the founder of Zyia Active. And gosh, we started, about a little over 3 years ago. And the story of the beginning of Zyia really began on a snowshoe hike where I was surrounded by other amazing women. Some I had known well, and others it was my first time meeting them. And we get going on the snowshoe hike, and we're getting out of our comfort zones. And near the end of the hike, as we're kind of reaching the summit, I found myself in the back of the group. And as I looked up, I saw these women uplifting each other, encouraging each other, supporting and mentally and physically. And it literally stopped me in my tracks. And I just watched the beauty of it all with the moon shining right above them. And I just left that experience thinking, I want to create more experiences where people support people, whether that's an activity, whatever that is. I want to create something where people create some type of community where people come together and support each other and encourage each other and uplift each other. So that really was the beginning of Zyia. I didn't know what route we wanted to take yet, but that was kind of just the beginning of our story. So very special.
That's a great segue into why activewear. Like, what made you want to go into the activewear realm?
Yeah, so I have always loved fashion, and I mean, we all live in our activewear all the time, right? Everywhere I look, I'm like, everybody's in their activewear all the time. And it's something that I could feel really natural. Like, it didn't seem like a sales pitch. If I was wearing it and somebody was like, hey, I love your leggings, I wasn't like, it didn't seem like a sales, like, oh, you have to have these leggings. They're soft. I love them. And I would tell people where I got my leggings. So I started thinking I am passionate about this, and I really believe there's a market for this activewear and for people. And that's where the Moonlit Hike came in, and it kind of all just evolved from there.
So what made you choose the MLM or network marketing realm versus the traditional retail?
Yeah, good question. So I've just always loved the family feel of the multi-level marketing and the direct sales, and being able to work as a team, to be able to come together. And really, you can't succeed by yourself in this industry. And so I loved the teamwork that's involved in direct sales, and I loved being able to support each other, and to there's just so much that came out of it with getting out of our comfort zones, to learning how to become a leader. There's just so many life lessons and life skills in this industry that I believe that people learn by doing it, that I just really felt like it would be so cool to go in this direction and have the success of everybody, where it's not, if you open a storefront, the owners, yes, they can do very well, and they can hire employees. But in this realm, you guys really have your own businesses,
Mhm.
and you guys, the sky is the limit. And so I love that we all could create something together and have our own businesses together and really help each other out along the way.
Yeah, that's really great. I know a lot of my friends have come from network marketing, and they're encouraging. It's, women helping women, and especially with activewear, I feel like I have a new family of women, so they're they're
Oh,
all so great.
I love hearing that. It is. We've got, I swear, the best community out there, and I just love watching people come together and build friendships. Like
Mhm.
it's been the coolest thing to just watch people make connections with all this.
So what has been your proudest moment so far with your company?
That's a loaded question. I feel like there have been several moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, like my heart. Uh, I think the proudest moment, honestly, is just each summit
Mhm.
that we've gone to, just watching people uh, come together and make connections and build lasting friendships and hear them talk about the way it's changed their lives
Mhm.
has been incredibly, incredibly powerful and really inspiring for me to sit back and listen to and watch and learn from. So I would say honestly, every summit I've left just blown away and feeling so inspired.
Oh, that's great. I can't wait to go to the next ones
Yes, it's
when
a
we
must.
when quarantine lifts, whatever that'll be.
I know. That's what I'm like, oh man, fingers crossed that come fall we can still get
Yeah.
to our conference, our summit.
So one thing too, I asked a couple of people, what would you ask the CEO of a company, and got a couple of questions in. One of them was, what were some steps that you had to take when you were setting up your business that you hadn't already thought of?
Oh gosh, there were so many, honestly.
I know.
It's it was I think that's what I've learned through all of this, probably more than anything, is just to take the step. Take that leap of faith and see where it takes you because I I wouldn't say I thought everything through by any means. It was kind of like, "Hey, we're doing this. Let's go at it."
Mhm.
And there were a lot of things that come up still to this day, like
Yeah.
a lot of times, and we get through it. And it's one thing that I always go back to that my brother actually told me as I was starting Zyia and I was stressed out and I didn't know if we had done the right thing. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And he he told me, he said, Erin, you have to remember that perfection impedes progress.
Huh.
And because I'm somewhat of a perfectionist and I want everything to be
Yep.
perfect. And so if you wait for everything to be perfect, sometimes you just have to go for it and make the progress as you go. And I think that's what I've really learned is that there's going to be new things that come up all the time, and
Hmm.
you just put one foot in front of the other, and soon all of a sudden you're looking back and you're like, how did I get here? I don't know, but it's really cool.
Uh, so Emily, if you are listening, that actually helps my my question too. So when she hears it, she was the one who asked that question. Um,
Okay.
and then another one I got from one of the male twirlers. He's actually really popular in baton twirling. His name is John. And he said twirlers are always looking for sponsorships. As a leader of a company, what would you suggest twirlers do in order to get more sponsorships or collaborate with a bigger company?
Just don't be afraid to ask. I mean, the worst they can do is say no.
Yeah.
So just go for it. Ask. Don't be scared. Take every opportunity you can to go for those sponsorships. And I I don't think there's one specific thing that I look for or really. I just take each case individually when people come to us and kind of ask like, hey, would you be willing to do this? Sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it doesn't.
Mhm.
But just the fact that they asked, I'm like, kudos to you. Like, just don't let anything stop you, and just the worst they can do is say no. So do
Yeah.
it.
It's funny. I always say, if you don't ask, the answer is no anyway. And when I reached out
Exactly.
to you, I was like, well, she's probably going to say no. And then you said yes. And here we
Oh, yes, absolutely. I
are.
love that.
So one question I had was, when you were doing this, when did you realize that this was working, that this was a big thing, and that you were going places with it?
Oh, goodness. I think probably the very first summit. So probably not until a year into it. I mean, we have been very blessed from day one. We had people kind of waiting to sign up. They'd heard about Zyia. We were off to a good start from day one. But I think maybe looking back, what it was is I was so busy to stop and look back and be like, wow, like, look what we've done. Look what is going on here. Because it was that putting one foot in front of the other. And I just, from the very beginning, or at the very beginning, I was picking and packing. I was doing a lot of the modeling because we're like, hey, the model canceled. Erin, come on, you got to get in here. It was like the cleaning. I was cleaning the warehouses. I was cleaning the bathrooms. I mean, it was so much work and really kind of trying to do everybody's job.
Yeah.
And so I don't think I had a minute to really relax, to kind of be like, wow, this is something pretty cool, until the very first summit. And again, hearing people's stories, how Zyia had changed their lives and what it had done for them and the impact it's had on them. That's where I was like, okay, this could be something, and is something really special. And so that was kind of my moment where I was like, wow, look what we've done the past year.
Yeah, that's amazing. I just have to say congratulations, because I can imagine as a business owner getting to the point where you can actually say it's a success, and you've probably done things before, and finally something just kind of fell into place and works wonderfully. So that's awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
So one question I had too was, so for people listening, if they're in network marketing or MLM, what steps do you think that they could take to be successful in this?
I would say to be consistent and to be passionate.
Yeah.
If you're consistent and you have passion, like true passion for what you do and the product, then I think that it comes across as something really natural. And it does take time. There's a lot of times where, you're not going to find success in the first couple months, and it takes time. So you need to be consistent, patient, and passionate are probably the three things that I would recommend above everything else.
So one of my final questions, what is your favorite book?
My favorite book? Oh my goodness. What one did I just read? I'm like, my memory's so bad that it's probably just the very last one I read, because I listen to the Audible.
Yeah, I did the same Audible.
But the one that's coming to me first is Broken. Or is it Broken or Unbroken? Unbroken. That's probably my very favorite.
Good.
Because it's the one I can remember right now.
So if you could say anything to the baton twirling world, what would you say?
Just keep following your dreams. Dream big and keep going after it, and keep that passion. Share it with others, and you guys truly will continue to be a gift to the world and to be a light. But yeah, just keep going after your dreams.
Great. And then how can people find Zyia Active?
They can find a rep. They can go to our Instagram, which is Zyia Active, or they can go to ZyiaActive.com and you can search your nearest rep. And there will be some that will show your location and the nearest rep to you. Sure, you have a rep page, so you could throw that out there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, those are the best ways to do that.
Great.
Thank you for being a part of this Zyia family and this community, and helping push forth the mission and the pillars that we stand for. It's been so incredible, and I think that has been probably the coolest thing to watch, is other people stand behind it and push those pillars forward. I've seen it really make an impact on a lot of people's lives. So I just wanted to thank you for being a part of that.
Yeah, I can't wait for the world to hear this podcast episode. So thank you so much for coming on with us today.
Thank you, Sarah. So fun to talk with you.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, have a good rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, listeners. If you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe to the Baton Twirling Podcast. If you'd like to follow up with us, read the show notes, or get some neat baton freebies, reach out by going to batontwirling101.com. Thank you for listening. We'll catch you next time.